Okay, for this lesson, what I want to show you is how we can create some duotones or tritones, or even quadtones. When I say that, if you remember sort of like these kind of cowboy photos or very old photos, which would be kind of a brown or a white sepia tones, this is called like duotones. Okay, so we're going to create that now. Now the problem we've got with duotones is we do have to change color modes in order to do it, so it means you lose color detail. So always make sure you keep an original copy of the image so that you can drag it back in. And when I say original image, so we've got our image folder, we've got this image in there. I haven't changed the size or anything. If I just change the size, I would have to save a copy of it, but you'll see what I mean later. So what I'm going to do, we've got this one here, this will basically be deleted out, and we got this one. So to do a mode change, we need to go to image, and if you look under mode, you'll see we're in RGB, which is the actual monitor color space. CMYK is for print, and grayscale's obviously grayscale. Index color is another one. Lab and multicolor are two different types. But to be able to go to duotone, which you can see is grayed out, we need to actually make this a grayscale. So I'm going to click grayscale as a mode. It's going to go discard all of them, yeah, and we're just going to go OK and discard, and you'll notice all of the layers now have turned to grey, including the top one we created. So we've lost the color detail and we cannot get that back. We need to go back to RGB and then bring in the original picture in order to get that color information back. So bear that in mind when you're doing these things. Always make sure that you've got a copy of the original at the size you're working at. So we go into image and we go to mode, and you'll see that duotones is now available to you. So is bitmap, but we're going to deal with duotones. So we're going to click the duotone. At the moment nothing will have happened too much, but if we go to duotone there and we select this ink 1, we could change this to maybe a dark silvery blue, which will work well with this. And ink 2, I'm going to change to a lighter blue. Okay, and if we wanted to, we could go to a tritone and we could put another one in. And they don't necessarily have to be the same hue, could be an orange. And they kind of mix together. You can also have control over the curves. So if I click in this box, if we look at the model, or look at the look at the image, you can see that you can actually adjust the way that that tone is working. You see that? If you want to go for the standard kind of duotone look, I could switch back to duotone, click this, go into a kind of sepia, and click this one and also go into a kind of, you know, that's your kind of traditional sepia look that you would get. You can also come along here and click OK. So that's a way of stylizing an image again and turning that image into a duotone. Now to get it back into RGB and to get the original image or color image in there, we need to go to image. Oh, sorry, I need to make sure that I've clicked this first. Click OK. Must be named. OK. Alright, so we just name it 1 and name it 1 and 2. Click OK. Alright, so then we go to image, we go to mode, and now we're going to just go back into RGB and don't merge it. Not that it matters, it could be merged. And now you'll notice that even though the image hasn't changed, we're actually back in the RGB mode. Yeah? So again, duotone's grayed out. We'd have to go back into grayscale, back into duotone. So to get the original photograph back in here, we would need to close this, open this up, let me just save this as. Open this up, and then I'd need to press Control A to select all. Select all. I would need to go to edit and copy, and I would need to come back into here, and I would need to paste, and that would be how I would get my color image back in again. Now you might want to try some effects through here. Remember, I've just selected here and I'm using the down keys to actually go through them, but if I choose something like a hard light, you get this rather cool look going on. Yeah, and if I was kind of happy with that, I would probably duplicate this, take these three that I've got and go to, not the bottom one, sorry, I'll keep that as a spare, go to layer and in here and then merge visible. So I've got that, and then I could come in and do some of my effects that I had before, like I could come in and go down to posterize, and you could start to sort of give it a stylized look from there. Or of course I could come down to my filters, go to my filter galleries and play a little bit with this to get some effects. So again, you're building up. So hopefully this course is giving you an idea of how you can kind of build images up and down. That's kind of a newspapery type look. So if I clicked OK on that, it's a bit odd, but it's a bit different. I put this on top of it with a hard light shining through it, and it looks quite good. So again, it's whatever you want to use it for. You've got this ability to be able to put it in there. If I duplicate this layer here, yeah, I could then come across to filter, go to blur, go to motion blur, choose it in the direction of the car, something like that. Click OK. Just put this on normal. I'm going to just increase, I'm going to image adjustments and levels. I just want to sort of focus down on this. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to just go through my filter types. Go for luminosity, actually, something like that. Or a hard mix. So you get a very stylized look really quite quickly using a mixture of lots of these different tools. So I hope you've enjoyed this part of the course, and we'll get on to another photo where we'll start doing some stylized stuff on that as well.